Well, hello there, fellow pilgrims, friends of the Lord, members of the army of God, new friends. Come on in, come on in. I am one pilgrim from One Pilgrim's Musings. Lend me an ear for about 15 minutes, a little more, a little less. I promise I'll give it back to you. And we are musing through the Psalms from the Holy Scriptures. We are utilizing the New King James Version of the translation of the Holy Scriptures, and we are adding to our musing some work by Dr. Jack Hyles, a longtime pastor out of Indiana, who did just a wonderful work on a concise history of the story behind the Psalms. Not the Psalms in general, but a little bit of a story, concise history about each and every Psalm. So, travel with me, will you, for a little while, a few moments out of your day, and let's take a look at the author, the story behind the Psalm, the way it was used by God's people, both ancient Israel and even today. And then we'll take a look at Psalm number 14. I hope our work edifies your day and glorifies the Lord. That's why I'm here. So without further ado, the author of Psalm number 14 is King David. The story behind the Psalm, well, we come back to the story now. See, the Psalms are not laid out in the Scriptures. They're not laid out in a timeline, okay? You might have one that deals with things way back here and one that deals with things way later. They're not laid out in a chronological order, okay? So now with Psalm 14, we are back to the story of David and Absalom, his son, and Absalom's rebellion against his father when he took over the kingdom. And David fled because he did not want to fight his very own son. Now, it is probable that this psalm was written as David fled Jerusalem during Absalom's rebellion. It is akin to Psalm number 3, which was also written around this time, maybe some of the darkest hours of David's life after having been forsaken by both family and many of his friends. Only a few went with him. The dedication to this psalm, to the chief musician by David, stands at the head of 53 different psalms. What this means is that these psalms were intended not merely for private use, but they were also to be sung by the officially appointed choir at great assemblies. In other words, these psalms David wrote were to be used for public worship as well as private meditation and praise. The ancient church, with synagogues and the ancient original church, back in the days of the Acts of the Apostles, practiced the singing of these psalms at their public worship. Indeed, it says this psalm was sung by the people when they had been forsaken by family and or friends. And when this time comes, and if you declare Christ, it likely will, the Christian must be reminded that there is one who will never forsake him, the Lord Jesus Christ. Someone who has said that there are 366 promises that God is with us and will not leave us. What a comfort. There are 365 days in a year, so think about it. A promise for every day. But, reminds one, there are 366 promises. Yes. But is there not a leap year when we have 366 days? God covers everything. God promises to be with us every day, not even omitting one that only comes every third year. God reminds us that he will never leave or forsake us, ever. In this passage, there are 5 negatives. Now, in the English language, a double negative is bad grammar. But in the Greek, added negatives are given to increase emphasis, a difference in the way the languages are used. So God gives us the negatives. The promise could be translated something like this in our vernacular. No, I will not never leave thee, nor not never forsake thee. Again, the double negative, translated directly from the Greek, means greater emphasis. It's not just bad grammar, it's just greater emphasis. It's like using 2 adjectives. It's not just great, but I'm losing my vocabulary. All right, anyway, let me get on with Psalm number 14. You will get the point. All right, here we go. The Lord will never leave you or forsake you. He never left me, and surely I more than deserved it many times. But he never left. He's always there. Always. Pulled me out of the muck and mire. A place I'm trying not to ever go back into again. But if I do, he'll be there. I know he will. He could be there for you too. Just call out to him. So, without further ado, I give you Psalm number 14. The fool has said in his heart, there is no God. They are corrupt. They have done abominable works. There is none who does good. No fools, that is. The Lord looks down from heaven upon the children of men to see if there are any who understand, who seek God. They have all turned aside. They have together become corrupt. There is none who does good, no, not one. Have all the workers of iniquity no knowledge, who eat up my people as they eat bread, and do not call on the Lord? There they are in great fear, for God is with the generation of the righteous. You shame the counsel of the poor, but the Lord is his refuge. Oh, that the salvation of Israel would come out of Zion. When the Lord brings back the captivity of his people, let Jacob rejoice and Israel be glad. For those who might be new believers or those who are just searching, one thing you have to remember when reading the Old Testament is that Christians are grafted into the branch of Israel. God's chosen. We are grafted in. While many of the Jews do not believe in the Messiah that has come, because of their disbelief, we have been grafted in. One day they will be grafted back in. But when you read about let Israel rejoice, you also, as a Christian, are Abraham's seed, meaning you also, in a spiritual sense, are Israel. That's for those who maybe aren't that familiar with the Bible, who may happen across our channel. We want to make sure that from time to time we don't just assume that everyone knows what we're talking about. We want to make sure to take the time when we can to explain. So there you have it, Psalm number 14, with a little history and perhaps a little explanation of who we are. And now may the Lord bless you and keep you. May he make his face to shine upon you and give you that perfect shalom. Whether you are on the mountaintop or in the valley, your heart is at peace, knowing that the Lord is with you. And if need be, he's carrying you. This one pilgrim. God willing, I will see you tomorrow, and we will tackle Psalm number 15. For now, I'm out.